So Lisa, as you're sitting beside me, I think I'll start with you.
Hi. Hi, I'm Lisa Bridget from Net-a-Porter. I head up sales and marketing across the world.
Christian.
Rakuten, I hope everybody knows, at least by now, mainly because of a couple of acquisitions. I'm responsible for strategy and operations here in Europe.
Paul.
I've actually spent the last 3 years working for the De Beers group of companies, and it was working for a branded diamond proposition, marketing diamonds across the US, India, China, Hong Kong and Japan. So all very sort of different digital experiences.
Theo.
Hi, so I work for Exad. Exad is a mobile location ad platform.
Is there almost too much noise now? Is there almost too much data to make sense of?
I think there's a challenge in terms of separating good data and bad data. You use bad data, you have bad insights, and you make bad decisions. I think the challenge is actually how do you filter out that bad data, and that's actually been the challenge in terms of that link between desktop and mobile. Mobile inherently is actually learn a lot of bad habits from desktop. I don't think to date people have been thinking about the screen that we're pretty much all spending most of our time on now as a way to get that data, and then it's how do you use that data? How do you then, to your point, translate that into the consumer mindset? Where are they in terms of research, point of purchase, conversion, ROI?
I think data's at the heart of everything, that whether it's from an agency or a brand perspective.
I think the data and all that noise, what we talked about, and that massive data is more on the advantage. It's more a question on how we work with it and how actively we work with it. But I think it rather helps, and it will also help the consumer.
How can we sort of assure loyalty when people could be literally in your physical bricks and mortar store browsing somebody else's store to see if they've got a better price? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
And that's just a competition that's out there, and I don't think it's a bad competition.
I actually think it forces industries to take advantage, to be innovative and not to rest and sit on their laurels.
How do retailers ensure a consistent sort of brand message online and offline?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest challenge, is how do you not silo your messaging on device. We did some research with Nielsen and Telemetrics where we surveyed 1,500 people, and we found that 25% of people are actually doing reverse showrooming. So they're actually checking things out online on their device and then going in store. So that's a headache for brands and brick and mortars, because suddenly, hang on a minute, I think I've got the flow right. They're checking online, I've got them into the store, I've set the store up correctly, and then the message on the mobile should be, let's just close the deal. Well, actually, no, that breaks things. Consumers are not predictable. And I think it comes back to really brands, retailers, and actually the ecosystem that sits above that, taking a holistic approach to the different touch points and media that consumers have available to them today. And that still doesn't happen. I don't think that happens.
I think it's important to see that online doesn't kill offline. It's a mutual experience for the consumer.
Is there enough understanding and resources going into making sure that the smaller independent outlets are kept up to speed with these technologies too?
Ultimately, it's about access. And it's about education and giving those businesses access to that technology. So yes, you've got to start with the big brands, because actually, to be fair, those have got the budgets to test things, to learn, to refine what we're trying to do. But the reality is there's no reason why smaller businesses can't access that technology. It's test, learn, make it available, and then make it self-serve. Give these guys the tools to be able to use it.
iBeacon's perhaps one of the things that they feel slightly invaded by. So, what's your take on that, and how can that be better sold perhaps to the consumer?
In our particular business, the relationship with the customer is prime, because we have a lot of intimate knowledge about his and her lifestyle. Our core customer is someone who shares a lot with us because she's sharing her life, her lifestyle, her children, her socializing, and how she puts herself out into the world. And so we're very, very guarded about her data and how we want to market to her. So when something comes along like iBeacon, or whether we're going to be location-based marketing or push notifications, we start to trial it out. And it's always about that. Oftentimes we'll trial it out on our panel, which is a set of women between 4,000 and 8,000 strong, who are really within our family, and we'll start to speak to them about how do they feel about this, does it serve them well or does it not? Because any kind of mass market messaging that doesn't give you any purpose is going to be something that's immediately going to dissuade you and put you off our brand, which is the worst possible thing that we could have.
It's absolutely essential to listen, and whether it's listening or social listening, whether it's observing data, whether it's observing behavior and combining that, and then you can communicate even on a personal level as a big brand or as a big store. If you personalize this story and if you're consistent in this story, it's definitely not easy. And at the end, it's the consumer who decides. And I think we all made mistakes when we did trial and error, but I hope we still continue on the trial and error, because at the end, it will serve the customer. And the ones who do that best, they win a bit more.
Perfect, brilliant. What a brilliant note to end it on. I want to thank my panel very much. Please give them a huge round of applause.